Now, why am I bringing this up? It's not because I like looking back. It's not because I like throwing stones. You know, it's not good to air people's dirty laundry in the wind. It's because you guys are starting a party, and we, all three of us, we've seen successful... Actually, you know what? We've only seen unsuccessful parties. So we've got a very good basis and a very good image to run away from. Let me ask you very directly, because we've got two members of the A1 political party. What makes Australia One so different? How are you going to avoid all of these issues in the party that I know you're familiar with because you've seen it in the past in other parties? How are you going to avoid this? Nepotism, illegal transfers, misuse of party funds. What can you guys offer that?
Every single director of our company has to have done a company director's course. So they have to know and will know their liability legally to the people that are actually, to the members who are actually paying the money. It's like government. Government doesn't make money, government takes money. And effectively that's what a party does too. They take fees. So they have to be accountable for those fees that they take. So each director has to have done a company director's course. They will be legally liable for every single decision. Everything has to be, like most parties, catalogued as every decision. The treasurer is the one that is responsible for the account. How $100,000 can go waylay into personal accounts? That means somebody has allowed and authorised for that transaction or those transactions to occur, and that person should be held to account. In our party, everything with regards to anything financial has to actually go through the interim executive. Every expense has to be accounted for. Everything has to be managed, and if the person who is running those accounts does all of this sort of stuff, rather than, oh, well, you've had money transferred, then that person is going to be held legally liable for any transaction that they have done, rather than, oh, well, you know, the general thing. Everyone's got a legal responsibility because they've done that course to actually know how they're going to be held to account.
Okay. Well, the new board, we made sure, once we got rid of the old board, the new board, we made it a condition that they all go through that training, and which ended up happening.
Okay. And they still did it. Is this 100,000 after that?
Yes, more recently. And look, these are the tough questions that every party should be asking them. People are fed up. People aren't stupid. They can see what's going on. In fact, there was one illegal payment before this whole fiasco, $147,000, which was claimed as staff wages for the 2015 election. This particular payment was... it baffled a lot of people and the board. And once they removed the board, the new board, which was reduced in 30 years in terms of age, because the old board was really old, the new board ended up having similar situations. So, I mean, these questions are, I mean, I don't know how you solve this, I'll be honest with you. I think it doesn't take much to know there's a problem.
Auditing? Because obviously we've got accountants that are going to be auditing, and I think we're deciding whether it's quarterly. They're going to be auditing the accounts on a quarterly basis. Beyond that...
What we're doing is we're going to be applying the same rules to the parties we apply to business and government. Specifically, one of them is, again, it's one of our policies, will be revealing in real time all expenditure. In real time. So we're going to do this as a party so the members can see it immediately. Yep. Then when we become the government, and we will, both at state and federal level, we will ensure that there is real-time revelation of every cent spent by government at both levels. Every cent in real time. And this is going to be very embarrassing for a lot of people. And you watch the expenditure stop very fast because people get busy, people get bored. And the fact that we paid $91 million to Hamas, a terrorist organisation, oh, well, you know, it's only $91 million. And they use that money to pay the families of suicide bombers. And Malcolm Turnbull, $444 million to the Great Barrier Reef Foundation, who didn't ask for it, didn't want it, didn't know what to do with it.
No tender.
And shortly after that, the Great Barrier Reef Foundation was a preferred partner with the Clinton Foundation. Now, of course, no money changed hands. There's no evidence of it, and it would be very wrong of me to say that this was a method of funneling taxpayers' money to some Cayman Island account. Now, that would be wrong to say, but something stinks.
Yeah.
So there's example, and just by the way, Silent Scott Morrison was the treasurer when that money was transferred. So Scotty, you're still for the high jump, mate. We have long memories, we will not forget. But there are expenditures like that happen all the time, and the news cycle is so fast these days that people don't have time to keep up. But in real time, it'll be revealed, and I can guarantee you there'll be organisations set up in Australia to track this and highlight it and hold to account every Prime Minister, every Premier, every Treasurer, state and federal, to explain why we spent so much money on this particular issue. So again, in answer to your question, how do we guarantee against it? Transparency, absolute transparency. And what we do at the party level, we're going to do it in the governmental level.
Excellent. No, like I think that's what people want to hear. I mean, in this age of technology, I think that's become a real virtue, transparency, because people have had such a gut full of endless wars, of their money being spent on like a new statue that they don't need. Very frustrating to see these kind of things come out, and it doesn't. People trust the media often more than politicians. That's